Yo, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet Violet VGC video. I'm your host, Jose Rocks, and today we have another episode of Journey Through VGC. The current format we are in is Regulation G. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Welcome back. So we are starting off with our Mireidon team for the next team that we're going to be showcasing. And this Pokemon is really cool. So this Pokemon just recently won the first Regulation G regional, and in spectacular fashion. Like it's so powerful. It does a lot of damage, and this team is just really hard to deal with. When you have a Pokemon that can put out as much damage that can one-shot, pretty much almost everything in the format that doesn't resist it, and even things that resist it still take a lot of damage. That's hard to deal with, right? When ground types are not really that popular, right? We have Landorus, you have Ursaluna, and then you have the random ground Teras or the random Ting Lu on teams, but as few far in between. So you have a lot of opportunities to output a lot of electric type damage, right? So there is a rental code at the top right, as well as a Pokepage down in the description below, and we're gonna be getting into this breakdown. So my Miraidon team specifically, this is not a rental code. This of the original team is actually my own personal team. I wanted to use Miraidon and use it just a little bit differently. So the set, of course, is the same, but I did opt to invest a little bit more bulk into my Miraidon and not as much special attack because it's already doing so much damage. And we have so many things that can support it on the team, whether it's the Helping Hand on Farigiraf or the Fake Tears on Whimsicott. So my Whimsicott set, I did opt to drop the Protect. I felt like in this format, with me having Ghost Tera and also the Farigiraf on my team, a lot of opponents can, since they play against this team and they just want a regional, they kind of expect Farigiraf to switch in a lot to stop Fake Out. So a lot of times they don't even go for Fake Out, right? Because they expect you to stop it. But I realized that I didn't really need to have Protect on Whimsicott because there wasn't a lot of situations where I was using it. So I wanted to switch it up and make it a little bit different from the other team. And as you'll see in in the coming videos, that Fake Tears with Mireidon just does so much damage. Also, Fake Tears with Ursaluna, even if you're like in a Trick Room setting, or even Fake Tears with Farigiraf and Psychic, it just does. They're doing so much damage, and it's really hard for your opponent to have a lot of answers into it. So my Whimsicott set, having the Fake Tears, made it different from the other team. My Incineroar set is pretty similar, but one thing I did have a little bit more attack investment on my Incineroar also, because I wanted to do more damage with Incineroar, so that when you do bring a combination of Mireidon, Whimsicott, Farigiraf, and Incineroar, you're not completely reliant on Mireidon to do all the damage. So I put 100 attack EVs into Incineroar. So now Flare Blitz, as you'll see also in this video, that it just does so much damage. Knockoff is doing damage, a lot of damage, and U-turn is really good with pivoting when you're pivoting back and forth between Mireidon and Incineroar. And also we're able to pick up the one-hit KOs on Rillabooms that aren't fully invested in like HP and defense, which a lot of them are running a little bit more attack and special defense to help deal with Mireidon. So you're able to kind of pick them off with a Flare Blitz from Incineroar. And next we have Farigiraf. So the difference that I chose to go with my Farigiraf is the Psychic over Tera Blast. And like all these moves come into play, Psychic gave me a better matchup into Amoonguss. Amoonguss, although it can't put things to sleep, it still wants to come against Mireidon because it's able to redirect the damage with Rage Powder and just take resisted damage. And now if your Amoonguss is especially defensive, it can, resist a lot of the electric attacks and be able to help your teammates survive and deal more damage to, the mons that are switching in for Mireidon. So Psychic is something that threatens Amoonguss on lead, to where a double up of Volt Switch plus Psychic is able to KO Amoonguss. Even if it tears into like Water Tera, which is common, then Amoonguss just goes down, right? So you're able to really deal with it with that combo, and you don't have to worry too much about the redirection of your opponent and your the teammates of Amoonguss doing a lot of damage. Next we have Blood Moon Ursaluna. This one's also a similar set. I also invested max speed and max special attack, and it's timid so that it can outspeed Calyrex Shadow under Tailwind. Last but not least, we have Ogerpon. So I decided to go with the Fire Ogerpon instead of the Rock, and the difference is the Rock Ogerpon has Sturdy, so it also it acts as a Focus Sash. So you have 2 Focus Sash users on your team. So it's a lot of mons that you have to, hit more than once in able to remove them. And I chose to go with Ogerpon. So Ogerpon is on this team to help me deal more damage. And I felt like one of the weaknesses of the Mireidon team was that Mireidon doesn't have, outside of Ursaluna, it did not have a lot of help to deal damage, right? And I felt like Ogerpon is able to really, cover that matchup, threaten the Rillaboom so that they don't feel as comfortable bringing a Rillaboom, because you can just one hit KO it at any point when Ogerpon is on the field. Also, like leading Miraidon with Ogerpon, they can't safely switch in Rillaboom to try to, remove your terrain without the fear of taking an Ivy Cudgel and being one shot. And you also still offer follow me direction, which is really good in just soaking up damage from Miraidon. Miraidon really does appreciate the follow me coverage. Also, Ursaluna plus Ogerpon is an amazing lead because they cover each other so well. And with follow me, you're able to redirect a lot of damage away from Ursaluna and be able to just deal a lot of damage with the Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice really threatens those Trick Room teams that want to set up. And you can just, if Ogerpon goes down, you just bring in Farigiraf to reverse Trick Room, or Whimsicott to set up Tailwind once Trick Room ends, right? And then Ursaluna is pretty much outspeeding everything that's around the same base speed as Cataract Shadow. But that's going to be it for a team breakdown. This team is really fun. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. And I hope you guys stay tuned for this video and the one that's going to be following it. And just see how much this Miraidon, how much damage is able to output. It's absolutely insane, and it's so underrated. And I'm honestly not surprised that it won the first regional. And it's funny because I had this team already crafted, the skeleton of this team, before it even won the regional, right? So I was definitely onto something. But I had a Landorus there instead of the Ursaluna, and I didn't have Farigiraf. I had what did I have? Serena. So I had Serena and Landorus. So I was using Serena because I wanted to use another grass type, and it had Tornadus as well instead of Whimsicott. And I wanted to be able to block priority, and I still wanted to have a grass type. And I had Water Ogerpon instead of Fire Ogerpon, so I still had a Fire Water Grass core, right? And with Landorus. So that was my team initially. But after seeing how well it performed, I did switch out, Whimsicott for the Tornadus, Farigiraf for the Serena, Ursaluna for the Landorus, and also Fire Ogerpon for the Water Ogerpon. And this team just felt so much stronger for me, and I was happy I was able to, really showcase a lot of the strength of it. But that's going to be it for the breakdown. Let's go ahead and get into these battles. All right, so we have a Kyogre Rain team here. Perfect matchup for Mireidon. He does have an Amoonguss and Archaladon, right? Will he try to play a Trick Room game here? Actually, don't think I need Whimsicott this game. Encore is nice, but it's not really good until like opposing Farigiraf. Kyogre, Scarf Kyogre lead is kind of scary. So in that case, I think I will lead Whimsicott just to not get one shot by like Scarf Kyogre plus Farigiraf. I bring Incin as well. I actually think I want to lead Incin. Water Tera on Incin is pretty good here. So I think I need to Tera Incin here. I'm gonna Volt Switch this slot and Tera Water and knock off. Alright, Grass. So we really want to stop Trick Room here. I think he's going to go for a Trick Room game. I expect this to be enough to KO. Yeah, knockoff should definitely get a KO there. So we burnt our opponent's Tera. Sunny Day on Whimsicott would be really nice here. Plus Flare Blitz from Insane. My opponent may expect that too. Oh, he does miss Origin Pulse. Oh, perfect. It's not too much damage on Insane. Nice. And Slowbro's gone. So any shenanigans coming out from that is gone. I know it likes a Trick Room. I know it like Quick Claw plus Quick Draw. Oh, it had a Mental Hurt. Yeah, so it's definitely going for Trick Room there. I want to fake tears this slot. You turn it. If he's not locked in the Origin Pulse, he's gonna go for. Oh, he's Quick Claw. Oh wow. We should survive. Ooh. Alright, good damage, Insane. Alright, Moonblast is doing decent damage here. Actually, I'm going to go into Ursaluna. This Hyper Voice should be able to pick up from here. Alright, so I'm going to Encore you into that. So you can't go for a water attack just in case. So this is to cover in the event that he gets another Quick Claw and can Origin Pulse before I can move. Yeah. So if you click Thunder, you're locked into it. When you... Oh, it didn't even matter. So like I said, that was just a cover for the event that he wanted to go for an Origin Pulse, and he ended up getting the Quick Draw or Quick Claw. And if I didn't go for Encore and he got Quick Claw, then Origin Pulse would just knock out Ursaluna. Alright, his last one's Pelipper. So I think this is an easy Moonblast into Pelipper and Blood Moon this slot. If you go for Wide Guard, then we're just in a good spot. Because I'm just Encore you into that, and then you just can't win from there. So he was definitely going for a Trick Room team, a Trick Room game. Nice. So Whimsicott ended up being really clutch there. And like I said, it didn't really seem like it did much, but just being able to threaten Encore in the event that he does get a Quick Claw activation is just really valuable for us. It's a pretty cool Kyogre set. And also you see the value of Assault Vest Instant. Even though we were weak to Thunder, we survived on one. Okay. Let's get into the next one. Alright, so we had Calyrex Ice here. And he also has Farigiraf. So I kind of want to lead my Farigiraf. Usually when they lead their Trick Room setter, they usually don't go for Trick Room turn 1. He doesn't have anything to remove electric terrain. If he didn't have Farigiraf, I think this would be a great game for Whimsicott, just encoring things into moves they don't want to use. I think Blood Moon Ursaluna's damage output is really good here. I usually go Fire Ogerpon, but with the Pelipper there, it doesn't really want to deal with the Pelipper. If he didn't have Pelipper, I would also go Fire Ogerpon. Calyrex Incineroar. Alright, so unless you are Grass Terra, I mean, I can just go for the Helping Hand Draco Meteor remove Calyrex, right? He could protect here and go for knockoff. That would be a strong play. But then you risk just losing your Incineroar, right? To like Electro Drift or Full Switch. Yeah, so I think this is Calyrex terrestrializing. I think it's grass. Yep, he is grass. Perfect. So if we get this play right, then we'll be in a good spot. We should be able to remove it one hit. 90% chance to win the game right here. Nice, semi-connect. Beautiful. And his restricted and his terrestrialization is gone turn 1. 2020 Pokevision. So, can I get a 2020 Pokevision in the comments, please? And that does less damage due to Electric Sea and the fact that we're not holding an item. Yep. So it's gonna be hard for my opponent to come back from this because now we just switch out for. He still does have Trick Room. Does he have any more sweepers? I guess Pelipper could do something here. I'm gonna go into my Incin. And I guess I'll just foul play here and then I could just reverse trick him next time. My opponent's gonna play it out. And we haven't used our Tera yet. Oh, nice. So he's just going after the Farigiraf. So foul play for a little bit of damage here. Alright, and we get to see my opponent's last. If it's Urshifu, I just need to terrestrialize Incin, and I think this game should be wrapped up. Also, if it's Pelipper, terrestrialize Incin is good too. It's Among Us. Alright, so this is kind of just a waiting room for Ursaluna to sweep, right? I want a U-turn here. Helping Hand. I mean, Farigiraf's not doing much damage. I could Psychic the Among Us. I wonder if he Pollen Puff his Farigiraf. I think Terrestrialize Ursaluna can pretty much win the game. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Alright. But I think Hyper Voice plus Electric Terror Discharge should win the game from here. I took a lot of damage on that switch though. Hyper Voice, Electric Terror, Discharge. I don't even think Among Us should be able to take this double up. We should survive, unless he survives on Among Us and Pollen Puffs. But I still think we're good. Like Electric Terror Discharge is good too. He didn't go for Pollen Puffs, so we should survive Life Orb shit too. Farigiraf is gone. It's a single target Hyper Voice. And Hyper Voice there was just covered for an instant switching. Oh, he does survive. But at this point, we just switching our instant, and then we just win the game from there. So protect here. Switching to Incin. Among Us can't make a Spore play since Terrain is still up. And then Terrain expires. And once Mireidon comes back in, we've stalled out our own Terrain to set it right back up perfectly. Beautiful. And it's also a valuable Intimidate. Drop the Incineroar's attack by 1 stage. And all Among Us can really do here is Pollen Puff. No, just to protect. Protect, fake out. Okay. Yep, electricity is gone. And now we just Hyper Voice. That's gonna KO our own Ursaluna due to the Life Orb chip. And we fake out Incense so it can't move this turn. And Among Us just protected last turn, so my opponent might just forfeit here. This charge is such a good move. This sucks that it hits your teammate, but if you have like a ground type, then it's perfect. I went for the double, okay. Respect it, to keep Among Us alive. That looks like it might be Assault Vest Insane, but now Mireidon comes back in, and we finally get to click the signature move, Electro Drift, and just delete Insane from the field. So props to my opponent for staying in and just trying to play to his outs. Farigiraf was doing a little bit more damage than I thought. It did like, 70% to my Ursaluna, which was pretty scary. But then we still, the turn 1 play, removing Calyrex just won us the game. And we just U-turn here. And he still stays in, so I guess you want to see how much Electro Drift does, but this is going to be moving. Nice, we get to see the animation though. GG's. Perfect first 2 games with Miraidon. Alright, so we have Terapagos here. Whimsicott, Urshifu, Among Us, Incineroar, and Rillabones. Pretty classic core with the new Terapagos mod. It's a lot of fake out here, so Farigiraf is going to be good for me. I want to go Farigiraf, Mireidon, Whimsicott, and Ogerpon. I think this is the game for Ogerpon. Ursaluna kind of loses to Urshifu and Rillaboom. Incineroar, while it does intimidate his Rillaboom, his Incineroar, it also doesn't do well into Terapagos and Urshifu. I don't think Among Us comes to this game, but if it does, it's just food for Ogerpon. So, Moonblast, Plus, Surging Strikes look scary. So I want to Psychic the Whimsicott slot because I don't think you're gonna go for Tail and Volt Switch Urshifu. If he has Protect and goes Light Screen. That's a good play. He may bring out something to cover for me going for Trick Room like a Rillaboom, but I'm not going for that here. Yeah, that's a Assault Vest Rillaboom. That didn't do anything. We went for Psychic here to break the Whim Sash. Ooh, I can actually threaten a lot of damage here. I think Urshifu probably wants to switch back in on the Rillaboom slot. I'm gonna Psychic this slot and Ivy Cudgel Whimsicott. If Urshifu does switch in, it should come in on the Rillaboom slot, right? Rillaboom probably wants to get back out. And if he doesn't Tailwind or we haven't revealed our Whimsicott yet. He does switch. Alright. Is that Urshifu? Oh, Terapagos. Okay, so we break the Tera shield. Alright, so who's gonna give me the Rillaboom? I actually don't want to give up my Farigiraf just yet. I think this is a time to knock out this slot right here. And I realize that Terrestrialization is probably more valuable on Ogerpon here. Especially if I can outspeed and KO Terapagos. And he didn't heal with leftovers, so unless he's Covert Cloak, this is most likely a choice spec set. He does have Rillaboom and Urshifu, I mean Rillaboom and Incineroar, so it may be able to protect too. But he's definitely just leaving the Rillaboom, man. Nice. The Rillaboom's probably going for a U-turn here. If it goes for Woodhammer here, then we're in a really good spot. Yep. So he can't bring out. It's gonna always be Whim here because he can't bring out Urshifu and let me get Tailwind up first. He may even switch into Urshifu on the Rillaboom slot. I think I kind of have my opponent in the pin here. And he lost to Terapagos, his restrictor, for nothing, right? just to switch out Whim. All right. So he has to Tailwind here. I can remove Whim, but I think that he may switch in the Urshifu on this slot over here. I don't really want to give him a free switcher, so I'm going to Tailwind and Woodhammer. That covers for Urshifu switch. Nice. And the reason I wanted to Tailwind is because he could have went for like a play where he Tailwind and Woodhammer and sack his Rillaboom. Takes out my Whim and I don't get Tailwind up, right? But we just went for the perfect read here. So 2020 Pokevision. And now we can, we don't even have, yeah, we're not going to protect him from the Rillaboom. And now just switch in Farigiraf and IB Cudgel and Rillaboom. He hasn't terrestrialized yet though, so we have to keep that in mind. But we got that read right. Can I get a 2020 Pokevision in the comments? Alright, so I want to go on a Farigiraf to stop any Encore shenanigans or fake out. And Cudgel Whim. Oh, it just cancels. Let's go. And this is why you run Fire Ogerpon on this team. It really threatens the Rillaboom and the Urshifu combos. Yeah, I knew he either had to switch into, because he knew Cudgel was probably going to go into that slot, right? So he either had to switch into Urshifu to eat the Cudgel, or he just Tailwind and knock out my Whim, hoping that I don't click Tailwind, which would have been really bad, right? And I felt worst case scenario, he stays in, and I just do Woodhammer. It does a lot of damage and he knocks out my Whim. But then I just get either my Farigiraf or Mireidon in the next turn. And he doesn't get the free switch in the Urshifu. So he's in an awkward spot where he kind of wants to switch to Rillaboom but can't. So I felt like we were good from that standpoint. Let's get into one final game. Final game of the day, we have Zamazenta. So Comfy. Zamazenta is probably going to be Grass Tera. He doesn't have anything to block Fake Out, so leading Incineroar is pretty strong here. I think Whim to Encore stuff is really valuable. Urshifu, Walking Wake, and Cornerstone Ogerpon. I think Ursaluna is kind of mandatory here. In a way I want to bring Ogerpon, but I think Ursaluna is mandatory since he has the chance to iron defense up here, right? So my Ogerpon, what is it? It's just neutral into a lot of his team. It can crit the Zamazenta, but I'd rather just hit Zamazenta with special attacks rather than trying to crit through the defense boost. So I want to Fake Out Grim. And then this Encore Zamazenta next turn if it goes for iron defense here. I really just want to remove Grim before it can get screens up. And I think it's more likely that Zamazenta protects if he doesn't have Fake Out on the Yep. And now we Encore that into Protect. So he has to switch it. And then we can just safely knock off the Zamazenta slot. Okay, Covert Cloak. But that means you only have 5 screens throughout your turns. think you're really gonna switch here. I think you respect the Encore, so I want to knock off Zamazenta and Moonblast Grim. Just get rid of it. Yeah, he respects the Encore, and I figured he would. I really don't want to waste valuable turns and get Spirit Break back now. Oh, that's a good play. That's a really good play. Oh, fine by me. Oh, he got a crit. Oh no, it's just a one shot. That's a good play. We could potentially get a double knockout here. Yeah, that's a good play by Grim. I should have hard switched into Ursaluna. I didn't need Incineroar to go down so early. The fake out pressure is going to be really good in helping me stall out screens. Oh, we got a crit there though. Alright, so Zamazenta has not got an iron defense off, so his body presses aren't doing too much. So I think I can switch in Mireidon here and Moonblast Grim. Yeah, one screen left. So unless Grim has fake out here, this should be a game-winning play. Switch in Mireidon. Moonblast this slot. If you go for anything other than a body press, then you get Encore and the game's instantly over. The Grim with the party shots is pretty annoying though. Because it kept it alive. Yeah. That's not gonna help though. I forgot he still has another Mon left. That's the Comfy. I totally forgot he had another Mon. I want to discharge here, switch on to Ursaluna. I totally forgot he had one more mod left. I don't know why I thought I took out one earlier. A single paralysis here, though, is really valuable for us. Nice. We didn't paralyze Zamazenta. Oh, we did. It's just slower than Comfy. Nice. That might be a game-winning play here. Alright, so now I need to switch back in Whimsicott. Actually, I'll just discharge again. We don't need Tailwind here. This Earth Power Zamazenta. We're faster now since he got paralyzed. Ah, do you have Grass Terra? I totally forgot about that. Oh, it's Fairy. But Light Screen isn't up. I just expect this to KO here. Oh no. Alright, but the Comfy goes down this turn. I think if I click Blood Moon there, this game might have been over. I don't expect Body Press to KO Ursaluna, but I'm not bulky, I'm fast, so it may. You can't heal anymore. And if he gets paralyzed, your game's over. Metal Burst. Oh. Why wouldn't you go for Body Press there? What? Alright, so we switch out here into Whimsicott. And then we just Hyper Voice, get rid of the Grunt. Should be a light screen here, he just cancels. I'm not sure why you go for Metal Burst there and not Body Press. But I think Body Press might have gotten KO. And then we're in the end game where I have to discharge my own Whimsicott. But at that point, I think it's fine because I just Encore. I would just Encore the Zamazenta into Metal Burst, which is not doing any damage to the Mireidon. So the Metal Burst tech is Metal Burst kind of works like Miraidon, where depending on how much damage you take on the special side, you can send the damage back but double, right? But since he didn't take too much from Earth Power, like he sent the damage back double, but it still wasn't enough to kill Ursaluna because Metal Burst is not super effective against Ursaluna, right? So I think you should always go for Body Press there, and I don't think Metal Burst. I like unless you're expecting your Zamazenta to be taking a lot of damage, you should always be Heavy Slam or Behemoth Bash. But I can see what my opponent was doing there. But let's get into a mid-range review with this team.